Fucking Florida ass behavior.
You introduce it.
Introduce what we're doing?
Yeah.
Because you barely explained it to me, but I'm under the impression we're ranking Buffy characters.
We are. I'm going to start ranking characters from every show that I've covered. I want to have a guest on each time. And of course, Isabelle loves Buffy. We've talked about Buffy. We made 2 videos about Buffy, you and I. We did a
At
whole
least.
analysis of The Body, which everyone should definitely check out because it's a top 5 favorite video of mine personally. And we also talked about the face body swap. So
Yeah.
we're going to have a fun time. I didn't make this tier list, by the way. So if some character's missing or whatever, I didn't make it.
Also, it's worth keeping in mind. I've mentioned this like every time because just in case people get the wrong idea that I actually prepare. I still have not watched Buffy in full in like a decade, but I remember most of it.
I love Buffy to death.
I've seen it so much. Like I like religiously watched it when I was younger, and then I've since then watched select episodes here and there over the years. But it's been a long time since I watched it front to back. But just looking at this, I'm pretty sure I remember most everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Buffy is one of the best things ever. I just woke up from a nap, ladies and gentlemen, so I think
I would
I'll be
I
better
would
as we
say
go through it.
I would say up there with like the best works by Nazis. Yeah, it's got a best work of arts by. I
You
hate
would
Joss, but I love Buffy. It's so like,
I hate Joss too. Like there's nothing Nazi like about him.
no, no.
There are like several degrees of piece of shit you can be. Joss
Yeah,
isn't in the
it's a
Nazi category.
gradient.
It's not in any sort of Nazi gradient.
It's
Joss
it's
is
funny
amazing.
because it's like the more I watch Buffy, the more it kind of reaffirms my belief that he probably hates women, despite the fact that it's such a good show for its like feminist politics. Mostly just because I'm like, man, he really hates Buffy. He really hates her.
Well, that's one of my issues with everyone like deciding that they hate Joss Whedon based on his behavior. It's like, did you not watch any of like the harder Buffy? Did you not watch season 6 of Buffy? Like, did you
Yeah,
not listen to what this man wrote?
yeah,
He's been pretty upfront about being having a few hangups and
yeah,
being bad.
yeah.
I don't shy away from it though. I think like The Body we just talked about in
Oh,
an
it's part of the
episode,
joy of it for me.
but I think even just compositionally as a director, we just talked about The Body. It's one of I think, dude, it might actually be the best directed piece of television that I've seen. That
I can
hour episode.
I would respect that argument. I'd have to think about my answer to that just because I haven't considered it, but that would definitely be up there for me
And
easily.
I do love Joss's work. Like Dollhouse is one of my favorite shows ever as well. And
Yeah,
I loved Serenity a lot.
yeah.
Angel's okay. Angel's like a redheaded like stepbrother to Buffy. I love it a little bit.
I've only seen the first like 2.5 seasons, I think, and I actually really liked it. I wish it committed to the darkness of the first season for longer. That's kind of my big gripe with it.
But it is miraculously easy to talk about Buffy and without really
Yes.
like having to talk about Joss too much.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so like this video isn't about praising Joss Whedon or anything, although I do that all the time. Like I don't care. He's fucking great. Piece of shit person, but oh my god, we can learn a lot from some of the stuff he did. So
I mean, it's pretty par for the course with like TV people, like so many people who make TV I like, and then I like see their movies and I'm like, wow, I fucking hate this. So I don't know. Like,
well, it's almost like what's the point of being a film or television critic or enjoyer when film and television industry forever has rewarded psychopathic behavior? Like
yeah,
it's what
yeah,
it's going to be
basically.
comprised of.
I
Uh,
mean, uh, I mean, like so much of like, I mean, like I could make similar arguments about like Damon Lindelof and like oh my God, who's the guy who fucking did House MD?
the actor or the creator?
The guy who works in movies who was involved in it. Um,
I don't.
like heavily.
I didn't.
Um,
I didn't know that.
yeah, I think it's Bryan Singer. Yeah, it's Bryan
Oh,
Singer.
really? He did House?
Yeah, he directs the first episode of House, and he was kind of like involved in its early making, I think. I don't know all the details though. But anyway, the Buffy characters.
I'll shit on Josh Whedon.
Joshua Whedon.
I'll shit on him when we get to Michelle Trachtenberg because that's the biggest issue that I have with him.
Oh, really?
That's the biggest issue I have with him.
I,
Definitely.
I've been curious about like what more than anything what I would think of her when I go back to like season 5 eventually, which I will
Well,
eventually.
no, she's great. I'm talking about Joss's behavior
Yeah,
around.
no, yeah, it was kind of I was commenting kind of like on a mix of the two, on like stuff that happened with her IRL, but then also like his depiction of her and stuff. Like I'm like, I wonder if I would like her as much now. But that's more not like I have no reason to suspect it. It's more just like I'm wondering like
Well,
how much
just
it's
even.
changed in the years.
I already want to talk about Dawn, but we're gonna go through the ridiculous order that they set up here. First up, we get the Master, and it looks like our tiers are labeled as love them, really like them, they're all right, no opinion, don't care, and dislike them.
For the
Um,
Master,
the Master, okay, so season 1 of Buffy, I always say Buffy's a brilliant show, bookended by 2 very mediocre seasons.
I would agree with
Um,
that.
and he's of course the big bad of the first season. He's an excellent template though. Like he is exactly what you imagine a villainous vampire, like superhero vampire to be.
There's that. I also like the actor.
The
It's like
actor's cool.
just like I like it. I like his voice. I think it's kind of a interesting voice because he has kind of like a oddly like disconcerting but also soothing voice. So I think that fits the role. But then yeah, it's just kind of like a not kind of a nondescript character, and the villains get a lot more interesting
Yeah.
very fast,
And
like
Joss
very
doesn't like
quickly.
Joss, Buffy, nothing compels us to care about the Master. Like we aren't
Yeah,
asked to, like we are with other big bads and villains. In fact, I see Darla coming up. Like she's the most humanized to me villain of the first season, and she's
it's
just a
like in
laughing.
Return. It's like in Return of the Jedi when they introduce Palpatine, and it's like, dude, like Darth Vader's way more interesting already.
Right.
You know? It's like you have a character who has like complicated morals and like backstory than a guy whose whole personality is being evil, and it's just like,
So, oh, and there's a rule here. I decided to come up with a rule here. You and I both get one veto, like over each other. Um,
mm,
like if you feel really
mm.
strongly about a certain character that I feel like putting lower, you can go, nope, it's going exactly where I want it to
I,
go, and I can
I
do
feel
the
like
same
we're
for
probably
you.
going to be pretty on the same page for the most part. I
All
have a
right.
feeling I can guess one or two we might differ on, but I think for the most part we're going to be in similar places.
Well, I
But
don't think
anyway, this
you're gonna
guy.
use your veto on the master, and also I'll try to find like a middle ground for us. Like I would put him under no opinion, don't
I was
care.
leaning no opinion slash they're all right, so I'm good with no opinion.
But even that, I can't even use as a criticism against the show, like a mediocre villain. But I almost feel like the point of those first 12 episodes are to be really simple to get you used to formula or used to the character itself.
That and also the fact that the show early on, the whole thing is that it's introduced as this very kind of Manichean, like good and evil in the most like diametrically opposed sense. So it's like it makes sense for a villain like that. And then
Yeah.
quickly the show starts season 2 like immediately starts trying to blur that line.
Because season two,
Um
we get Spike, Drusilla, and then Angel. Like
yeah,
that's it's
exactly. So
bad.
it's like you start with the everything being extremely black and white, and then it very quickly just completely disrupts that dynamic, and it works. So I think he works dramatically. So I approve of him if I even if I'm not like compelled. Um, right into someone I would put at the top.
I really like Anya. Okay, let's talk about Anya. Let's see.
I love Anya.
Anya is so cool.
I love her.
Emma Caulfield did so well, especially with the character that I think was clearly like not intended to attain
Become
such
what
a
she
potential
became.
future. Yeah, exactly. I think she's a great comic relief character. I would have loved to see what she could have been like if she wasn't forced to interact with Xander all the time. Also,
Yeah.
Xander was so fucked up to where left her at
Yeah.
the altar.
Well, this is,
Um,
I think we've discussed this before, but that's kind of like my favorite long running arc is like how much of a fuck up can Xander become?
yeah, yeah,
Especially because I like partly view Xander as like the stand-in for Joss, and so it's like what
yeah,
if like this guy who can't grow the fuck up and keeps like fucking shit up,
yeah.
and so but then in that way it's kind of like she becomes kind of just a tool to be used for the furthering of Xander's arc, and she doesn't really get an arc of her own. In
And what it and also spoilers for all of Buffy, by the way, because I'm about
oh
to talk
yeah,
about
I mean right
yeah,
off the bat, yeah, she gets
yeah.
fucked.
Yeah,
Um,
but when does she get fucked though? Like when Xander's arc no longer needs her as necessary, she gets killed like unceremoniously in the
yeah.
final episode, just cut down. I thought it was beautiful because they incorporated this guy over here. Um
Mm, 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 mm.
Andrew's his name. They incorporated him like Xander asked how she died, and he kind of made up a more heroic story because that's what he does. He's like a liar storyteller, and it was
Yeah.
like made me cry a little bit there. But even then, we can see the problems of Joss, through a character like Anya, when and also I think that her fucking spike in season 6 was ridiculous. All of season 6 is kind of
Oh
perfect
my
teen
god,
drama.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah, and then Spike like says some really hurtful stuff to Xander of like, yeah, I fucked both women that you worship. Like, what about like essentially is
That's
what he says to
crazy.
him.
I forgot about that.
And my only issues with that with Anya's character is that like she's built as this comic relief person. Some of the heavier stuff doesn't seem to hit as hard with me with her. That's like a minor complaint. That's why I put her at really like them. But you can veto me and put her at
I'll
love
accept
them.
really like them. I'll
I
accept that.
do really like
I'll,
Anya a
I
lot.
might save my vetoes until the end to see if there's something that particularly I
Yeah.
need to return to. But
Uh,
I'll accept that though. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry. I've seen people try to reclaim him, but like I don't fucking care. It's like now I don't know if this is like a minority opinion or whatever, but I love Angel. And so to go from like Angel to this guy, it's such I get the idea is that it's like she had her taste of like the bad boy, and so she wants normalcy, and then dramatically this is undermined by him not really being normal in the end. Like it reveals he's just as fucked up as everybody else, but it takes so long to get there, and it's not even really interesting when it does.
yeah.
It's
I'll say.
like I see the vision. I see the idea of what would have made him interesting. I just don't buy it. Yeah, I don't care. Whenever he's on screen, I don't
Well,
fucking care.
you can't convince me that Joss created the character to be likable after showing us all these colorful people. And then, I mean, season 4, if it has a theme, it's largely about the evils of fascism. And he's what, like the one good fascist boy,
Yeah,
like there's,
but
there's still not a whole lot there for that. I do like the way he falls apart in season 5. And we can kind
yeah,
of talk about drug abuse or sex work or like stuff that like weird fucking, in my opinion, like repressed fascist desires is like you
yeah,
want to be intimate with the person you've been told is like an animal,
yeah,
um
yeah. There's like
and
that's what I mean is there's so much textual interest in him, just like so little dramatic. I guess.
yeah. And so far as him, he's just the worst, man. He's like, okay, and then in season 6, like, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I've run into like ex girlfriends and stuff, and they're just fucking on top of the world and doing great. Meanwhile, my world's falling apart, and you just have to hang out with them for an hour,
That
like
is
Buffy did.
funny as a plot device. It's like his life actually got way better as soon as he left Buffy's ass. Another instance of Joss being unimaginably cruel to Buffy.
Yeah, I think as we go through this, we'll say several times that Joss sucks, and like
Like,
it's
what if
impossible not
her
to ignore
worst boyfriend got the best ending of anybody?
it. Yeah, honestly.
He got
Now,
like the best outcome of literally everyone in the whole show.
Now, Darla, technically the first character we meet on Buffy the
Oh
Vampire
yeah,
Slayer,
that's true. In her schoolgirl outfit.
which for me, I loved it. She's so cool. Darla, okay, I think she's great in the 6 episodes that she's actually on Buffy, but she becomes amazing on Angel
I was
itself.
about to ask, how much are we taking into account like the arcs a character had on another show?
Um, we shouldn't. We really shouldn't.
So in the I mean, although it's kind of hard because they blur together in my mind after so long, but I lean somewhere between really like them and they're all right. Because I like Darla. I like the idea that she's kind of like female Spike, basically.
Well, I think if Anya sets the
Yeah, then I'm gonna say they're all right. Like Darla's
um
a character I want to like more than I actually do, I think.
like she was super rock and roll in the Angel episode of
Yeah.
season 1
Yeah.
where we learn a lot about him and a lot about like Darla is the one who I think changed Angel. It's been a little bit
Yeah,
since
she did.
I've been
She
okay,
if I remember correctly, she did.
but
Because she got him while he was like drunk and down and out, and
the first thing you brought up about her was her schoolgirl outfit, and I'm telling you, I feel like I know Joss after analyzing him for hours. That's the first thing that he invented about her. I
he's,
swear.
he's so like Spielberg coded in the same way where he's like he literally makes a whole episode to make the point. He's like, yeah, Buffy was started out as a fetish thing for me. What are you gonna do about it? He does that in that episode about Angel's backstory, and you see her literally dressed up like Lolita. And
Yes.
he's like,
Okay.
I know what the fuck I'm doing, and you can't stop me. It's the same energy as Spielberg being like, yeah, I want to fuck my mom. What are you gonna do about it?
And if I have anything in common with Joss, it's that we're both shameless. And yeah, the schoolgirl outfit alone gets her in They're All Right. If we were doing an Angel tier, she'd probably be at the top. She's really good on that
Yeah,
show.
she's really good. I'm gonna say sticking just to Buffy. I
Now
remind me who this is, please.
this is Veruca. This is the werewolf girl from season 4 that Oz cheats on Willow with.
Oh my god, yeah.
Now, I like the actress. There was a lot of potential within the character. I do think they have to go to, for me, either no opinion, don't care. I would do no opinion, don't care.
That works for me. That works
And
for me.
the reason why I would do that is she was originally intended, sorry, to have like a very long storyline that lasted the whole season. Like that's why Oz's shift in the first 10 episodes of season
Mhm.
4 feels so weird because that was intended to be his entire 22
Like a
episode long
long,
arc.
yeah.
And Seth had to go do a movie because he's the busiest fucking person in this entire cast. And they had to rush it like so quick.
Hmm.
Which sucks so much for season 4 because like when she's first introduced, it's really nuanced. Like he just walks by her, like no line is spoken, and he feels something weird for a second, then moves on. Then everything else moves so
Yeah,
fucking fast. We don't allow her time to develop. And
yeah.
then this guy, like, is a definition of don't care. This is
I was literally
Riley's
gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say instant don't care.
like,
I
there's
mean,
nothing about him, dude. Like, what the hell?
the so far like him, Riley, her, like these are all characters that exist purely to further the arc of someone else, but it's even more fucked in his case because he exists to further the arc of someone who exists to further Buffy's arc. Like he's
Like,
a tertiary character at best. He's really not that substantial in the show.
and I think the best seasons of Buffy are seasons 3, 2, and 6. And I liked 4. No, I liked 5 a lot too. 4 is the weakest of the very good seasons, and we can already see that like dislike them and no opinion, don't care is comprised of season
Yeah.
4 characters so far. But
Also,
and
his
also
whole thing is being like, Riley, get ass off your mind, please. Stop thinking about your girlfriend. Please. And it's just so fucking funny. He's trying to cock block Riley for like a whole fucking season. It's obscene. Isn't there an episode where he's literally trying to sabotage their relationship for
yeah,
Riley's own
yeah.
good? It's so stupid.
Oh, he's
Next
He's
one's
MGTOW coded like so much,
he's
like
what?
old school MGTOW coded. Remember those people, men going their own way? It's like because like it's not even like the fact that it's Buffy. It's I think the fact that it's a woman. I mean,
Yeah,
if we
he
did
hates that he's
some
with a woman.
yeah, if we did some homoerotic stuff with the
Yeah,
fascists,
the
that would have been really
homoerotics
cool.
of the military.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been fun, but we really didn't go there. Now, Adam, um,
I'm kind of feeling no opinion, don't care. I'm gonna be
him too, but I would put him at the top of no opinion, don't care for
but I
me.
can respect that. I might put him under the Master, but
I mean,
I like Master more as a villain.
I I appreciate what he like represents, and it's obviously something Joss cares really deeply about, which is like
Mm,
what makes an identity. Does the body make the identity? Is it like inherited? Is it like purely made?
mm.
And I've said it before. I think that Adam is literally just Ultron from Joss's later Avengers movie, Age of Ultron. They have the same exact lines and personality and philosophy. So it's obviously something that
Yeah.
Joss cared about exploring a lot, and I think that it works well in season 4 as like the ultimate weapon of the fascists is this weird
Yeah.
tyrannical thing that not only turns on them but is a Frankenstein's monster of strength. You know, there's
Mm.
some all right stuff with him. Okay, this I,
This is
I
another one you'll have to remind me.
that's Andrew. He was in the trio. He was the
Oh,
one who like
say no more. Yeah.
he reformed himself in season 7, and to me was one of the
Yep.
only great
I
parts of
remember this
season
now.
7. I like
I
him. Like
I'm gonna say they're all right at best.
oh, yeah,
I
he's
remember that arc
fucking
now. I
awesome.
remember that arc, and yeah,
But, I mean, he
it's
kills,
yeah.
what's his name? What's the main trio guy's name? Fuck. There's
You're right.
Warren, there's Andrew,
I don't remember.
and he was the one who was in it the longest. Like, he was in it since the beginning of Buffy. Fuck. Um, guy also played Paris Geller's, boyfriend. Uh, I
Wait,
don't
I
even know.
found it. Warren, John, and Andrew.
Oh, that was John, okay, he killed
Jonathan.
John, and he was in
Jonathan. Yeah.
love with Warren too, so, like, the trio, we did a lot of cool things. I think that the trio was oh god. I don't even wanna, we'll talk about the trio and, like, the darkness of the trio more when we get to Warren. I'm sure he's on this list.
Yeah.
Uh, for right now, I'll just say that Andrew was alright. Now,
I'm an
Angelus,
Angel truther. I really quite like Angel.
I have no problem putting him at love him.
Yeah. No, I've always been attached to like the plot device of like what happens to a person that's like against their will given immortality. Um and honestly his this is kind of no longer a reference in vogue, but in the comic series Sandman, he reminds me a lot of this one character. There's a I don't know if you ever read it, but there's a part where they flash back because the main character Dream is immortal, so he's lived forever, and you find out that sometime I think in like the Middle Ages, his sister, who's the god of death, wanted him to have a friend, so she picked some random drunk dude in the bar
Mm.
and made him immortal just for no real reason, and they meet Dream and this guy meet together at this bar once every 100 years, and so the story shows how he changes over centuries. And so it's like the first century he's just like yucking it up and partying all the time. The second century he's become full despair mode because he can't have any long lasting relationships and he's sick of partying. Then he becomes like actively like suicidal and depressed. Then like by the present day he's become like self-actualized and at peace with existence. And I feel like you get like a interesting similar arc with Angel where it's just like you go through these arcs of like existential despair, psychopathy,
Yeah.
normalcy, bad decisions, good decisions, and it all kind of culminates in someone who's like a very complicated, rounded human being who can actually said to have been like multiple people in his life as a result of it. And I just find that dramatically compelling and
No,
really interesting.
that's a really good take on Angel.
Yeah.
I just always liked Angel, and also I should say, like, with this tier, we should take into consideration what they provided to the plot, because I thought Angel was most fascinating in season 2
Oh, absolutely.
as this great idea of you're a girl and you finally give like the most sensitive part of you, your virginity or something, to a boy. Then immediately, I know it's a curse in the show, but it works so well metaphorically that he turns
Yeah.
into a fucking monster and
Yeah. As soon as
terrorizes
he gets
you,
it.
humiliates you, haunts you forever, haunts and
And it's
taunts you
funny because
forever.
he's unsuspecting because he's not like Spike. He's introduced as like the sensitive
Yeah.
boy. There's some like weird characterization shifts with him early on because like he's like first introduced kind of like snarky and sarcastic.
Okay, but I love his first scene with Buffy. It's one of my like
Yeah.
it's this is a show full of brilliant lines, and he has one of my first very favorite lines, which is like, she's like, "Who are you? I'm a friend. I don't need any friends. Didn't say I was yours." Like,
Well,
it's such a
I read into that as him like kind of playing a character for the sake of
yeah.
like he's trying to inhabit a part. Is
Well,
kind of how I rationalize the characterization change because I also love that bit. I do.
it's such a
Um,
smart show in the sense that they can see what works and what doesn't, but they like
yeah,
it's a show without amnesia. Like a normal show would forget that they tried to characterize them that way and just act like they never did. Whereas this one's like, okay, we'll show you Spike. We'll show you someone who is
yeah,
actually that way. And
yeah. But I don't know. It worked for me. I also love. I mean, this is neither here nor there because it's Angel, but I do love the idea of like the supernatural detective. Like I'm
which
a
he
big
does do in like season 3. He has Detective Angel moments. Like that is
yeah,
within
and
Buffy.
a lot of season one, I think. Season two, it kind of falls off, but I don't know. Like, I'm a fan of like John Constantine and shit, so I like the idea of like the occult detective.
David Boreanaz can pull off anything for me. Like he's pretty great
He's
on
like
Buffy.
people give him a reputation, especially in Buffy, for being like one note. Like he gets shit on a lot for being like the mopey, like come on, Angel, for once in your fucking life, can you not be like sad? But
Yeah.
he gets that kind of rep. But like David Boreanaz is like a really good actor. Like he has a lot of range, emotional range, including in that role. I mean, one of my favorite bits is near the end of the show. I think season 7, when he finally returns and he and Buffy have like a moment together where it's like they're finally like old enough to like put that shit behind them. You know, it's just like it's kind of like almost like against the usual TV writing method like that you see on like sitcoms and stuff where it's like the will they won't they goes on like in perpetuity, like it goes on forever and there's never really an actual end point.
Yeah.
Whereas like for Buffy and Angel, like they actually feel like two people who are like, dude, that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so long ago for me, and I think we're both mature enough to just be like friends now and like put this behind us and like shit like that. And
And
I really admire that. I
so
like that.
so far as the iconography of the show, it will always be Buffy and Angel to me. It's like
Oh
they're so
yeah,
iconic. Like they
so
look
good.
great together. There's a lot of built-in power between them.
It's
He
even
deserves to be love them.
it's even like an invisible influencer throughout the rest of the show. Even
Yeah.
after he's gone, you still feel like his presence and like his influence on the characters' lives.
Well, a
Um,
lot of Buffy fans are pretty superficial in the sense of like Team Angel, Team Spike, but like the
yeah,
point of Joss's creation here is that Buffy was designed to be alone and miserable forever.
yeah, and he is objectively the one that got away, and
Yeah.
Spike is the one that was settled for.
Now, Bianca Lawson's one of my favorite human beings on the planet. We're talking about Kendra,
Hmm.
the vampire slayer. Um, Easily put her at really like them.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah,
one. I'm super with you. She
put her
kind of got the
behind
shaft
Anya
on the
though.
show, but like it dramatically it works, and I just
A
really
little
like her.
underdeveloped, but when I rewatched it, I forgot that her death was like pretty brutal in my opinion
Yeah.
of Drusilla hypnotizing her and then cutting her throat or breaking her
Mm,
neck or something.
yeah.
It was crazy. I love Bianca Lawson to death. She had to play a lot of underdeveloped characters in a lot of different shows, but man, she was always unforgettable. She gave
Also,
110%. I love her to death.
They kind of forget her as the show goes on, but I think there's like kind of her influence is important because we forget like that that's where like the Slayer thing splits, and
Yeah.
there's suddenly like two at a time because Buffy died and was resuscitated, and that has like huge consequences for the rest of the show. So like her presence at all is actually extremely important. They just never really talk about her much after she
And
leaves.
my argument for being okay with her death so early, I understand is shallow, but Faith is my favorite character ever, and in order for her to come into play, Kendra had to be killed.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I forgot this guy's fucking name, but he is the rival of. He's basically
Oh,
Giles's arch enemy.
I love this guy.
Yeah, he's
Um,
funny.
I fucking love this guy because he's like,
If you could
oh
find
man,
his name, that'd be great. But he's Giles's personal nemesis.
oh man, what's his fucking name? This is gonna piss me off.
I
By the way,
should have
like,
done a refresher here
it's
before I jumped into this.
it's two people. One of them has not watched the show in full in a decade, and the other one just woke up. This is
Yeah,
high quality entertainment. But hold on, I gotta find this out because Ethan, is it Ethan?
yeah, it's Ethan Rain. Ethan Rain, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Um,
Ethan. I love Ethan because it's like
he,
I mean, I'm a
oh,
Giles
you know
head. I love
that they're all right for me. What about you?
I don't know. I just like that he's like this kind of like because they do a good job of like expanding. This is mostly in relation to Giles, I guess. So I'm okay with they're all right. Um he's just kind of like kind of an early indication that there's like this whole world of history that Giles has experienced that everyone's kind of not privy to because they just assume he's kind of like a bookish like shut in, and like then you start to find out like he's got like some shit in the closet,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's like a big part of it. And I love the idea of like Giles being this like fatherly figure, and then his foe is this kind of like snarky piece of shit who just wants to ruin his day. It's kind of amusing to me. I like the dynamic.
I'm a Giles fan too, but there's a character who we haven't got to yet who interacts directly with Giles, who I would
Oh
put
yes, I
really,
know who we're
really
talking
high.
about. I know who we're
Yeah.
talking about. But for now,
But for now, fucking season 4 did not bring their best. Okay.
this is like
Um,
whenever whenever I bring up how it's like my least favorite season, everyone's always like, "Oh no, there's like this good episode, this good episode." I'm like, "Yeah, there's like four or five great episodes, and then like the overarching arc, I just don't give a shit about." And like, she's a
yeah, we
big
gotta.
part of that. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't care. I
I
don't care
don't.
about her. I'll put her like higher than this fucking guy. Shouldn't even be on this tier, but
Yeah, I mean, and again, like it's like creating tension for the protagonist by making a character that the the viewers are never going to be interested in. But so it's like
yeah.
it's not even really I love to hate. It's just like I'm like she just pisses me off. You know? Like
I'm
it's
surprised that
that
like we're this far into it. 'Cause every time I think of Buffy, I'm like all these A-list characters, and they just I guess haven't come up yet. But I'm surprised
yeah.
we're
Yeah,
looking like.
no, they push them back a lot.
But
Uh, the last thing I was gonna say is that she's like a bad writing trope that I hate, which is like write a villain not as like an obstacle for the main character to overcome, but specifically to prevent the shit that the people watching want to see happen. You
yeah,
know, like she's more like a villain to the audience because it's like she's standing in the way of us seeing the stuff in the
yeah.
story we're more interested in, and that it pisses me off. I
I've
don't like
said
it.
it a few times at this point. The main goal of season 4 was to explore fascism, which I think that Joss did fine, but he didn't like excel at it. He didn't do
Yeah,
it as well as he did any
yeah.
other season that's really good. There's a lot of it was serviceable. All these people just serviceable to like what that was supposed to be in season 4.
I
But
cannot see who this next character is, by the way. The
it's
picture's
Ben.
just
It's Ben. Being
Statham.
he was in season 5. He was like a nurse. Giles kills him.
Oh yeah.
Giles
I
fucking kills him, and it's hardcore as fuck.
Oh man, I forgot about this guy. I haven't thought about this in so long. Because he's like, yeah, he gets fucking murked by Giles.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I don't remember enough to confidently say where I'd place him, but yeah, I remember now.
I mean, I'm just gonna put him at I don't care.
That's probably what I would do. Sorry, I'm just thinking about
Cooler than
Giles
Venom.
killing a guy
Damn it!
straight
Are
the
you
fuck
not gonna
up.
let me do my joke? You fuck.
Me?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be like, oh yeah, that's Glory's double. That's like the Glory's masculine half. And I was gonna go, whoa, are you saying there's a connection between Ben and Glory? Because that was their power. No one would remember that they do that, except for supernatural creatures. And Spike's like, is everyone here very stoned? Because we just saw them transform. And they're like, you're crazy. Didn't see that. So that's why Giles had to kill him. So that like she couldn't escape into his body or whatever. And it's so harsh, man. Oh my god. And I don't think anyone ever confronts him about it or even finds out.
That's foul.
And
This is a
Kennedy.
recurring thing in the show too, is like people dying and like no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like literally at
Kennedy.
one point, like at a fucking public high school, a principal gets mauled to death by animals, and no one goes, "What happened? What? No one. There's like no interviews. It's just like a week later they have a new principal. It's like, is this just a common occurrence in Sunnydale?
Buffy does it really well though. Like at the end of the opening pilot two-parter, everyone was being slaughtered at the Bronze, and then they just go to school or go about their day like nothing happened. And Giles is like, "Well, it's what you have to do. It's
It,
just the power of whatever. It's just you
it's
have to be
it's like
ignorant."
the '90s equivalent of like shit we're seeing today, where like atrocities are happening in the country every week, and so it's gotten to the point where everyone's just like, "Hey, man." It's like another
Yeah.
shooting has happened, etc., stuff like that. And so maybe it's prescient writing. Maybe he was ahead of the curve for that.
And so for Kennedy, I'm honestly leaning towards dislike them. I don't hate them or anything. Like I feel bad putting her next to Riley, but I think a lot of people think she's just as bad as Riley.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about her. It's just kind of like a okay, you know.
It's kind of like a constant reminder that Tara was the sweetest fucking person in the
Yeah,
world. And
basically,
also the
yeah.
way that all of those recruits or whatever
Like
treated Buffy
the
was ridiculous.
potentials, or I forget. They
The
have a name for
potentials.
them,
It's
but I
it's
forget.
potentials. It's potentials.
Is it? Oh, I
Yeah.
nailed it.
And this chick, I forget her name, but I love that she was like stuck inside of a what, a rat, a gerbil, a bunny
Yeah,
for
she
like
was
5
transformed into a
seasons.
rat, and I think it's literally for like multiple seasons
But they
of the
even
show.
bring her back like for a joke of like Willow and Tara trying out magic, and they do one, and like
They
shit goes out
accidentally
the
bring
window,
her
and
back.
then they
And it's
put
funny
her.
because she wasn't even like a bad person. She was someone who got wronged,
I
if
mean,
I
she was
remember.
a little bad.
She was,
But
but it was like in reaction to stuff she hated because she was kind of, yeah.
to me,
I,
she's a good joke, but I don't care
yeah.
about her as a character. It's
You do
really
see her
fun.
throughout like the seasons as a rat. Like there'll be a rat in the background, and you just always remember like, oh yeah, that's a fucking human being that they're just keeping in a cage and feeding rat food. It's so it's literally like the Peter Pettigrew shit from Harry Potter. But yeah, I'll agree to no opinion.
The one, the only Buffy Summers. I
Well,
mean,
I know
any questions? Like,
I know where Joss would put her on this list
yeah, and delete them or dislike them
and fucking kill them.
in the kill zone. She's amazing.
Oh
She's
wait, he does
amazing.
do that like twice.
Yeah.
He loves killing Buffy almost as much as he likes abusing her. Um, I
To
love
me, like
Buffy.
her amazing is just so self-evident that I feel weird just like explaining why she'd
Yeah,
be.
no, I think she's like such a rounded human being. And I think the most interesting part is like anything we can say about all these other characters, you can
Mhm,
like see in what way that had like a tangible influence on her and her arc, you know? Um
absolutely.
and so you really get how she could go from like season one being kind of like a brat and being like kind of, you know, complaining about like her situation, which is understandable because she's a fucking 16-year-old. And then from there, getting to the point of like where she is at the end and like the multiple depression arcs and such. I find she's the character I relate to most as the show goes on,
Uh,
frankly.
yeah, I can't say that for myself. I just love her to death. She's so heroic. Like I think that's the most important part for me is
Yeah.
that I do think that Buffy is large. It's a teen drama, but it's largely like a superhero story because Joss's philosophy and composition is pretty in debt to comic books and that sort of
Mhm.
thing. But I do think that Buffy is actually like a truly heroic character who
Mm. Mm.
has not only like helped the two of us, but I
Mhm.
think helped countless amounts of people, inspired them. Like just
Yeah.
if we're just talking very plainly, she's an excellent role model. She's great.
No, she
Uh,
is. And I just really relate to the kind of depictions of her like depression and self-destructive behavior and kind of the aftermath of those arcs and her like recovery periods and stuff like that. Like it's really detailed
yeah,
and well composed. And I love her. Buffy's like
she's amazing. I
exceptional.
mean, if I could say something extremely good, Sarah Michelle Gellar's performance overall is the best on this entire
Oh,
program.
easily, easily. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar like deserves the world for
That's
this.
the only thing
Like
I can say is underrated about Buffy. The fact that like this chick right here, phew,
didn't win
outrageously
everything.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, because like she again, it's like the angel thing where you or the angel slash David Boreanaz. It's like there's like so many iterations of the character and versions of Buffy that you see across the show just based on her like developments and personality as she ages. And she's able to sell every version of Buffy, like the kind of like bratty Buffy, the like heroic Buffy, the like mature Buffy, the immature Buffy, stuff like that. Like she's really able to thread all these
yeah.
versions and can do it convincingly.
I mean, she's just awesome. She's also one of the very first crushes I can ever remember having. Uh, so of course she gets there. Now you said this guy's name's John.
What?
You said this guy's name is John,
Is
part of the
that John?
trio.
I believe that's John. Yeah, I know their names.
Jonathan, though they call him Jonathan. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say John doesn't sound right.
is it-
It's Jonathan. It's Jonathan Levinson. Yeah,
I'll put him like at the
he's a
end of there.
weird character.
Yeah, he's at the
I
end of
almost
there all
don't know
right
what
for
to
me.
do. Huh?
He's at the end of there all right for me. I think he's the least interesting of the trio, but he had the longest time to develop. I just
It's like spending so much time on a character that only to like sack him at the end. You
yeah,
know?
dude. Just put him at there. I've never had anything to say about Jonathan. When I talk about the trio, the darkest, actual villainous, misogynist parts are in Warren, who should be on this list somewhere. You
He's
know,
Jonathan's like the Kenny from South Park of Buffy. Like he just exists there to be kind of like fucked around with, and then eventually like killed off when the jokes run its course. It's
yeah.
yeah.
Hold on. Um,
I think he's in there somewhere.
Buffy
It's
fans
extremely
hate
it's extremely pixelated on my end, but
Buffy fans hate Warren so much. Maybe they didn't put him here. Um, okay, who is this? Looks so familiar.
I'm gonna be so 100. I have no fucking clue. I have no fucking clue at all who that is.
She's so fucking familiar. Who the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Buffy
I
character.
expected you to do your research before.
Is it this person? Is it Halfrick? It's Halfrick. Beloved character Alfric. Oh, okay. She's the other vengeance demon. She's Anya's friend.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't care.
Yeah,
Glad Anya has someone to talk to, I guess. And here's the sexy principal from season 7.
yeah.
Yo,
I was like,
he and Faith have a pretty hot scene together. Those are two hot
I
people.
I looked at his face and I was like, I recognize. I just don't remember. And then you said that, and it all like it's like a Proust moment. It all came back to me at once.
I'm so happy that he and Faith hooked up. That was spicy, and for that
Yeah,
alone, I'll put
that
him
was
in there all
cool.
right, above Jonathan. And
That's
also,
cool.
he's the daughter of that awesome Pam Grier stylized Slayer from like the Subway
Yeah,
70s when who Spike killed. Like, he's cool. He's cool. He's not bad. Xander motherfucking Harris.
top
Top.
top for me anyway. Yeah, he's a top now.
I put him at really like them, but you can veto me anytime.
Like I said,
Wait, is that Xander? Xander's over here.
is it
Who
the
am
other
I?
character? Wait, no, he's not. He's not over there. Where is he?
That's Xander.
Where?
At the very end here. This
Oh,
is
sorry.
Xander.
You had to scroll a little further for me. I see. Yeah, then it must be the other character in that picture who. Wait. Unless is that Isn't there like an alt version of Xander at some point?
That's not a character.
Is there? No, you're right.
Also, I'm looking now, and there's no Warren.
Let's skip this one because I don't know. I can't tell what it's.
Okay, let's make sure that this guy. Let's pretend this guy is Warren, because he's not
Okay.
here.
Yeah, let's make this Warren.
Warren. Okay, obviously a terrible person who likes the guy who kills Tara, who likes like the Columbine coded misogynist killer who just hates women. Like that's his thing. He's like a woman hater. He's the most interesting and villainous part of the trio, though. I would put
Yeah,
Warren above Andrew on the they're all right thing, only because he's
I
an
accept that.
actual villain. And he's
I
like a
accept that.
rapist too, right? Like he's
Yeah,
the worst. He's maybe the worst actual villain of the show
I
based on
accept
the fact that he is so real. I get why Buffy fans would hate him. My two favorite characters on Buffy are Faith and Tara. Like, I hate that Tara died that way.
Oh, it's the worst thing in the show, I think.
But I did read though, because Joss was accused of doing a bury your gays thing, like killing the gay characters. But like Seth Green was talking about, like how at the beginning he was whoever Willow was in love with was going to die viciously so that she could become Dark Willow. So so it's like, okay, you're innocent of bury your gays, like it would have been Seth if it wasn't Amber, but now you're just guilty of fridging. Like you still would have
Yeah,
done one trope instead. But I think that Warren is a very interesting villain, very confrontational one, and like one that like we all know a Warren.
yeah.
Like that kind of thing. Michelle Trachtenberg, Dawn Summers. I really like her.
I put really like.
I think that it's a fascinating use of a character. It's like so interesting to have her literally be a device of the plot, and then she herself like gets really insecure about it, like learning that she's not even like a person.
She's just
She's
a plot. Well, it's funny because what I was talking about before about like characters that exist purely to like further the story arcs for other characters, and she realizes she's that person.
yeah, yeah. And
Like
rebels
she would.
against it like any what preteen or young teenager would in like
Mhm.
meaninglessly rebellious ways. Like I loved Dawn in
I
season 5 and season 6. Everyone was assassinated in season 7. Like when she kicked Buffy out of her own house is ridiculous. But yeah.
Everyone always hates on Dawn, but I think part of that is because obviously teenagers make up a lot of the viewership of the show, and I
Mhm.
don't think teenagers are self-reflective enough necessarily to realize that they are Dawn.
And I said I'd man up and like call Joss a pervert. I will do
Oh
that
yeah,
here. According to Michelle Trachtenberg, she wasn't allowed to be alone in a room with Joss based on how they thought that Joss would behave or had behaved or things he'd said about her. Like I'm not sure all the
Yeah,
details, but I do know that Joss wasn't allowed to be in a room with Michelle Trachtenberg on the set of Buffy,
yeah,
which Michelle Trachtenberg is another, like, similar to Bianca Lawson, who she's right next to on this tier, another teen drama queen. She went on to steal the show in Gossip Girl. She's just awesome in general, and
yeah. She's also in like Mysterious Skin.
she was in Mysterious Skin. She was in, even stupid, gross out comedies like Eurotrash, or even as a
Yeah,
child in Harriet the Spy. Like, she's been a part of
yeah.
every millennial's childhood in some sort of way.
In some way, shape, or form.
And I can't imagine, God, like, you're the showrunner of, and like everybody knows that you are, that
A
you're
degenerate.
unpredictable and degenerate, and you can't even be around like this girl who, like, according to the script, like, you're clearly so infatuated with. It's weird. Trick.
I remember Trick. I don't remember his role in the show.
His
Like I remember
role,
that character and like his personality. I don't remember the role.
I like his character. I like his personality. His role was the mayor's right hand man until Faith killed him.
Uh, yeah, that's it. That's what it was.
Um,
That's a no opinion. That's a
it's a no opinion, but I do really like his personality. He's more colorful than these people here.
so we're up to Joss having one well written black person in his show.
His personality is good. Like, I want to put him at there all right.
Yeah, I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
Well, okay, I mean, one well written, yeah, but he gave us one really hot black guy, the
He is
principal.
so fucking hot. It's true.
And Bianca Lawson is literally she's an actual
Devastatingly.
vampire.
Yeah,
Like,
she rocks so hard.
she rocks so hard. So, but it's very clear the WB as a whole, not just Joss, but Buffy,
Oh yeah, no, it's
Gilmore Girls,
definitely
Dawson's Creek had issues with,
it's the culture of
yeah.
of
Like, there's a reason
television.
why Bianca Lawson was literally in every legendary teen drama for like half
Yeah.
a season. And
Yeah.
like, you can't tell me it's because she's like less attractive than anyone else or less talented. It has to be skin color at the end of the day. Like, it has to be because she's
Yeah, I
amazing.
joke about Jaws, but I have to imagine that is like a broader
Yeah.
television internal politics thing, which is, you know, it's much cooler to them to have, goth bad girl Faith than,
I mean, but
cool
that's
black
even
girl.
why I think it's cool that he paired Faith with the principal, with the
Yeah,
black character. I thought
yeah.
that was neat. Because maybe at that time it was a little bit of a fuck you to the WB as well. But know who I have no opinion about? Fucking Dracula.
Yeah, me too. No opinion. I don't even really like that episode. It's
Yeah,
like
me neither. I'll put him
it's
at the
it's one of
end.
those episodes that they made just because they realize they kind of have to eventually for the bit.
Yeah, they do. And I love how how, like, it's Riley, who she's dating at the time, gets like so jealous. It's funny.
Yeah.
I have a confession.
Drusilla, I think we'll probably agree on this.
I love Drusilla with all of my heart.
Me too. I love her.
I mean, she's got to go to love. She's got to go
Yeah,
to love for
easily.
me.
There's no question about it.
She's
No
so
question.
fucking cool. She's like the coolest character Tim Burton never created.
Well, because it's like it's awesome to actually have like a vampire character who's actually like mentally ill. Well, which is
Yes.
her whole backstory, as I recall. It's like they literally just wanted to see what would happen if they turned a mentally ill person into a vampire, and the answer is she's completely unhinged.
Yeah.
It's like, what if you took a schizophrenic person and made them a vampire? And it's like, it's fucking awesome.
Drusilla to me is just so fucking
Yeah,
highly cinematic, so fun to be around.
yeah,
Like,
or
Buffy gets
really,
great when Spike and Drusilla show up together. You're like, okay, now I'm in brilliant territory. Now we're out of season one. Now we're dealing with
yeah.
some awesome shit. But it is absolutely like a schizophrenic person being a vampire, and it's just so much fun. She's one of the funniest characters and most disturbing because the way she killed Kendra is ridiculous. Drusilla is such a hottie.
Yeah, it's true.
Who the fuck is that?
Don't remember, don't care. Ah, wait, I recognize.
Is she this one's mom? Is she the rat girl's mom?
I'm not
No.
confident enough. I don't
Okay,
remember.
okay, let's act like we know she is and go, don't
Oh,
care.
don't care. Yeah. Now going from don't care to I say really like.
Yeah, I really
Although
like her too.
I'd accept that they're all right, but um,
They're all right, and they continue their story on Angel.
yeah. It's kind of
No,
like a character you had to make. That's another instance of like he had to do it eventually. Like, what if an absolute like bimbo became
Bimbo. Yeah.
it's funny because he keeps doing this bit where like what if X category of person became a vampire? What would that look like? So he's like, what would like someone who's like very mentally ill look like if they became a vampire? It's Drusilla. What if a guy who's like a wannabe cool guy became a vampire? That's Spike. And it's like, whoa, what if fucking Cher from Clueless became a vampire?
Oh, yeah, she's fun. Spike.
Love, easy.
Yeah,
We're
easily.
not going to debate this with each other. I think
Who's
this is.
who's better though as a character, Spike or Angel?
I lean Angel, but I could really go either way.
I gotta go Spike.
Go Spike.
uh,
I'll take that.
the amount of stuff he did on Buffy. I mean, Angel was only there for like 3 seasons. He did
Yeah.
amazing stuff, but Spike only got better as
The
the show went
eternal
on.
the eternal cuck.
Yeah.
History's immortal cuck. Like in every era of history, he's a cuck. It's literally incredible. He can't. He's incapable of not being a cuck. It's crazy. It's like what
He's
if you
amazing to me.
give this guy like a really cool look and vibe and aesthetic, and then you find out he's just like the biggest loser on the show. Like somehow Spike is more of a loser than Jonathan, but I
Didn't you
love.
tell me that like you and I obviously have praised the body a lot, and and then Joss was like, and even James Marsters was like, "Man, this was really good, Joss." And Joss was like, "Yeah, it's good because you're not in it. You're not in it. I fucking hate you." Well, he was told by the network, like the goal of Spike was to kill him halfway through. I'm assuming when Angel turned evil, the first thing he
I
would do is
believe
kill.
if I remember reading about this back in the day, and I believe it was that it was going to be like a he's introduced as the season long arc, and then the twist is that he gets killed off like immediately so that Angel can become the
Yeah,
season,
exactly.
and that was going
But
to be like the story of the season.
the immediate fan response to him and the network forced Joss to keep him alive until the fucking end.
Yeah,
But Spike's so fucking cool. What a great character. What a surprise great character. I love who the fuck is this? What is this shit? Is this Spike with a soul? Like who made this stupidness?
I'm not gonna play into that stuff. I'm not gonna.
Me neither. I'm glad that Warren wasn't here, but I think that's Inca Mummy Princess.
Oh my god, put in hate, put in hate. I hate that fucking episode. Why is she even here? Are we gonna give like every character that was like in a one off?
No, obviously, because
But
that's
why is she here? It's because they tried to make it seem like she was important, and it's like, bro, we all know damn well she's gonna be gone by the end of the episode, and we're never gonna talk about her again.
I love and have the biggest crush on Jenny Calendar.
I
Um, I
can't lie, me too.
I love what she did for Giles as a character, but even more so what she did for the show. Because Angel turning evil, that's the first step to greatness. But the crack heard round the world is Angel killing Jenny. Like that was so fucking
Totally agree.
shocking. The most shocking death of the show
It,
because you don't expect a death like that to happen.
Even now, it's like the first iteration of what happened with like Tara and shit. Like it really is the first instance of like no one is actually safe on the show aside from like the main trio, and
Yeah.
like any other person in the show could die at any time.
And the way that it affected Giles so much. I just love, dude. I love everything about Jenny Calendar. I love techno paganism. I think that's really great. I love that she was a techno paganist. Like,
Yeah, it's so cool. Like that's such a fun idea that they basically never go back to.
I know, but she was so great and so sexy. Okay, Angelus gets to be his own person? No, he doesn't get to be his own
I
person.
would actually make him his own person. I'm chill with that.
But I would have to take regular Angel off Love him.
Just put them together because I would have done that anyway.
Okay, fine.
That's what I would have done because it's like I think there are two distinct characters in kind of like a Jekyll Hyde way, but
Oh
it's
man, he's like gonna kill her right there. Look at how this is playing out. So
Angelus is just such a good villain though. Like as a villain, like just
yeah,
I didn't really talk about this before because I was focusing more on like the Angel side of the personality, but like he's he's like also just like viciously evil, but like in a less generic way than the master, I guess, because like the master is just like nondescript, like I'm going to destroy the world, and it's like, what does that mean? Whereas like Angelus is like, no, I just personally have beef with this one person, and I'm going
well,
to
yeah.
go to extravagant lengths to
Well, that's why I would
torture them.
disagree. Like, he's not. I don't think he's anything generically evil about him. The fact
Yeah,
that he is this ridiculously possessive and like misogynistic fucking ex-boyfriend who just won't leave you alone and is terrorizing you and your friends and like killing them.
it's
I think that makes him fascinating.
it's kind of like Angel is depicted as like the like ideal boyfriend in a weird way, in that like
Yeah.
he's like gentle and understanding and empathetic, and then Angelus is like what is the worst boyfriend you could
Well,
possibly
I
have,
think
and
that's
he's
where
like
like
domineering.
the
It's
feminist qualities of Buffy and Joss's writing shine through there. Every guy has that within them.
yeah,
Everyone.
it's so. This is again why I love Angel so much, and he's like one of my favorites, if not like my favorite in the show. Is that he like is able to be used in these really compelling ways. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what if a guy is both the best boyfriend imaginable and the worst boyfriend imaginable? And it's like, it's so good. I love Angelus. Every time he's on screen, like you can tell that David is like having so much fun just being evil. Like he's
He is.
thrilled.
I love Angelus so much. He is like just so entertaining. My God. Buffy's mother.
I dislike her, but like the episode where she dies rocks.
Yeah.
She's like such an awful mother, in my opinion.
Why is she awful?
She's just like antagonizes Buffy like all the fucking time, and it's I don't know. I don't like her that much.
I mean, I don't care about her at all. I'll put her at dislike. I mean, do you think that she's as bad as Riley? You
There are
frozen?
some episodes where I hate her more, and some
Okay.
episodes where I'll put her below though. That
I'll,
works for me.
I'll put her on dislike them. It's crazy. Let's remember who we're talking about, Joss. She becomes most interesting when she is entirely dehumanized and becomes a body.
Yeah, Joss is like women are really interesting when they're dead.
Who the fuck is that?
I'm trying to see. I know him. I know him. I know
Me
him.
too.
Evidently, early on, I
Both
don't
these
remember.
both these two are just fucking one-off people, right? Like,
Yeah, I don't fucking care about one-offs. I
I
don't
don't
care.
care either.
So who's next? The mayor?
The mayor, who I really like, actually. I put him under
I put
really
in
like
really
them.
like.
And it's because okay, so season 3 to me is the best season of Buffy. I love Faith, I love everything about it. But the mayor being the ultimate big bad, we're actually seeing how like this weird the I mean, to me, it all centers around Faith and the idea that Faith is weaponized by literally everything around her that's abandoned
Yeah.
her, and he's like the ultimate father figure. So in like the Faith metaphor, he's God in a very large
Mhm.
way, but also in a political metaphor, he's the way that like local government systems are actually secretly fucking degenerate and perverse, and abuse and weaponize poor bad girls, right? Like there's a
Mhm.
lot to the mayor for me. I even
I
like that he comes back in season 7 in like a
yeah
hallucination or a dream
yeah
that Faith has, because
yeah I love
to
that.
me, Faith is hyper literally the concept of faith, and Faith has to learn how to live without God, and that was like
Yeah.
her father figure there. But you can
I
talk
feel like
about the
there's a
mayor.
bomb like pop Freudian analysis to be done there. As like the
Probably.
father who is the state, the father who is
Yes.
the God, the father who, etc. Like all these roles he inhabits are just different versions of a father.
Mhm.
So I feel and again, like going on with that theme of like after the master, he just progressively for a while anyway. He kind of stops after a while, but escalates like the kind of in what way the villain is interesting. So like Angel's interesting because he's like a good guy who went bad, and then like the mayor is like a bad guy who acts like a good guy. Like he acts
Yep.
so friendly and gentle that it's like disarming. And I love that as like a trope of like, you know, guy who's like acts so nice. And it's not even just nice, he acts like a 50s TV dad. Like
Yeah.
he you
Yeah.
know, he won't
Even
even like
that
swear.
that would be perfect for a postmodern analysis of like how he is actually TV dad. Like that'd be amazing too.
Yeah, like this sinister subtext to those shows. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think there are complexities to his because be absolutely real. I mean, Faith is a weapon of his, but he is absolutely tender to her sometimes. Like he
Yeah.
absolutely did
And
care. Like the state has a perverse love for forgotten youth, for the forgotten like young troubled girls like on self-destructive suicide missions. Like
I'm kind of
amazing.
torn on that because I also could just as easily see him as like a guy who's like he's so evil because he's so good at pretending to care,
I
you
don't think
know?
he's pretending. Um
I could never really decide. And I
him in the hospital with Faith, like
yeah,
after Faith loses, like that's real. A lot
yeah.
of real stuff.
I,
I'm not saying this to like humanize or forgive him. I'm
no,
saying it
no,
like as a
no. I get what you
complication
mean.
to his character. Like Faith is absolutely being manipulated by the state, but remember that the Watchers, that's like a patriarchal system that's just as abusive,
Yeah.
right?
I feel like I could view him as kind of I like how for me it's unclear how genuine his feelings are. Like it
Mhm,
could just as
mhm.
easily be either way for me. And it's
Yeah,
the fact that he dies without you ever really knowing that gives him like a lasting impact. Because it's like I really don't it's like there's moments where I'm like absolutely certain he actually gives a shit, and then moments where I'm like, there's no way on earth he actually gives a shit.
I mean, no matter what, he manipulated and
Exactly. So it's like, how much did he really give a shit if he's willing
yeah.
to do that to her?
But I'm saying in his own evil way he did, or the
Oh,
way that
yeah,
God gives a
yeah,
shit about faith itself, like the ultimate father, like the way that a father gives a shit about
yeah,
his daughter.
yeah. I mean, like, just like all the Old Testament
Yeah,
stuff, you know, like
exactly.
God throws a fit and kills a bunch of people, and he's like, I fucking hate you.
Exactly. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Don't care.
The principle, the first one. I don't
The
care.
one who dies. Yeah.
Yeah. Who the fuck is that?
He is he the guy who's Buffy's old friend? Is that him?
What do you mean, old friend?
The one who like Buffy trusts him and shit, and then it turns out he's trying to become a vampire. Is that him?
No, that's the guy
No.
from Roswell.
Then
I don't think this is him. I don't care. Is this vampire Buffy? Stop it, guys.
okay,
Principal
I gotta say,
Snyder.
really like him. He's so fun.
Did you watch Deep Space Nine, by the way?
Not yet, but I really want to, and I know he's on it.
It's so mind blowing to me that he's Quark on the Deep Space Nine, but he's great.
Oh,
And the part that really makes Snyder come together for me is the the crazy way that season 4 ended with that like David Lynchian like dream episode, and
yeah.
he does like pulls a Marlon Brando with
Yeah,
Xander.
it's Marlon Brando in the Apocalypse Now reference.
I gotta say he's all right though. I can't say I really like
For
him.
me, it's all down to like he's just funny.
He's
He's
entertaining.
an example. He's what I'm looking for as the opposite of like the military lady from season
Yeah,
4, in that he is like a direct opposition
that
to
would have
everything the protagonists want to do, but the way he does it is just so fucking funny that it's like I'm okay with it. Like I actually enjoy when he's on screen, even if he's like impeding the progress of like the story. And
yeah.
he's like a good instance of like that kind of antagonism in the narrative. I think
I
he's
like the
really fun.
concept of like everyone's the mayor's lackey, so everyone's a lackey of the state, and like you're there to be controlled. I like
Yeah.
that with
Oh
season
yeah,
4.
and that reminds me. I also like how it's like he's the guy who's just like this is all bullshit, but then like you find out he's actually been in on it like the whole time.
Yeah,
and like everybody in a position of authority in this town, right down to like school staff, is aware of this shit, and they've just been covering it up for years, and it's like it's just really fun.
Now,
So
now we can actually talk about Xander.
I'd put him in the top. He's just a really compelling character to me because he's
Might
just
have
such like.
to. You're gonna have to veto me. I'd put him at really like him.
Yeah, I'll use my veto for this, but I'll go middle of the way and accept bottom of the top tier if that works for you.
Works perfectly for me.
Yeah, but
I think he's an excellent character, but
I mean, the first episode of the show that I ever really thought of as like being my favorite was the
oh yeah,
Zeppo,
the Zeppo. Yeah, I remember you really loved
and
that episode.
I just love it because I like having, when a lot of teen dramas revolve around like idealized versions of like teenagers. I like Xander for being an actual like fuck up, like he's someone that I can, see parts of myself in, and I just see him as like a guy who has probably like abusive household, learning disabilities, presumably, he's got like all this shit and baggage, and it instead of making him nobler, he actually just makes bad decisions because he's not willing to take responsibility for himself. And
Yes,
I really love the arc. And it's like it couldn't have ended any other way than leaving his girlfriend at the altar. Like
absolutely.
yeah, I just really like Xander and like all of his darkness, because he is like a bad guy, but it's like I feel I kind of also empathize with him, and I don't know,
Oh,
I
I
love.
empathize with him too. I just think, for obvious reasons, I guess, I think he's insufferable sometimes.
Yeah, and it's like I
But he's
accept it.
supposed to be though. Like like that's not a flaw of the show or a flaw of the performance. Like he's supposed to
Supposed to
be
be a little
exactly what he is.
insufferable. Yeah,
Yeah,
and like his like rampaging jealousy issues relating to friendships that you're not sure he even, or like crushes you're not even sure he really has. Like does
right.
he have a crush on Buffy because he actually has a crush on Buffy, or is it just because he's needy and wants attention from someone
Yeah,
who's important? And it's like that. Like his inadequacies are so profoundly human that I believe it completely. Like I could probably name a million people I've known in my life that are carbon copies of Xander, and so it's
true.
I really love him for that. I feel like he's like maybe the most human character on the show,
And I'm
and
charitable to the concept that he is Joss's stand-in throughout.
oh, I 100% see him in that way. And so you could argue that even like this fucked up, horrible guy is himself kind of a charitable reading of Joss's personality. Like this is Joss being nice to himself.
Yeah,
But anyway,
absolutely.
who's next? I can't see.
Next up is Glory.
Glory, I don't really care, to be honest.
Oh, crazy! I love her. I think she's awesome.
This might be like a length of time since I last watched, but like I don't know. It's like I remember thinking like Angelus was like a peak for a villain.
Glory's a
The
peak
mayor was
villain too. It's
the
like,
mayor fucking rocked, and then it was just like she just didn't hit me the same way. But I'm being uncharitable. I'll put her a little higher. I'll say I like her. So
okay.
it's up to you. It's up to you how to reconcile that.
Well, I mean, the only thing that I'll go back to her. See if I want to use my veto yet,
Yeah,
because there's other characters I care about more. Giles, love Giles, right?
he he is along with Angel and Buffy a contender for my favorite character on the show. When I was a teenager, he was my favorite character. Like I love Giles. I love him as this kind of like in a show that shows like the worst versions of a lot of these kind of like people archetypes. Like a high school boy, a boyfriend. If he's like a representation of like a surrogate father, it's like the best possible version of that, and it's just like this one like bright spot of like love in this world,
Yeah.
and I really am just moved by that. And, just that he's like a guy that really cares about these kids and all that and like nurtures their growth in positive ways. And yeah, I just think he's a really like beautiful character.
I think Buffy is just so well written, and it gets more and more well written as you age and realize, well, now that I'm slightly older, rewatching the slightly older, now that I'm 20 years older, 30 years older,
Yeah.
watching these, Giles is just as compelling as any of the rest. I
Yeah.
just didn't pay attention to it when I was younger, and now when you rewatch it now, you're like, I'm so heartbroken between these two, right? Jenny and Giles, like,
Yeah.
uh, he offers just so much, but I think a more youthful audience doesn't know or doesn't care. But
Yeah.
as I got older, I realized Giles is kind of like the secret ingredient
Yeah.
to,
He's, I think,
yeah.
one of Joss's most beautiful creations. I love Giles
And
so much.
Anthony Stewart Head did so well.
Oh my god. And also just how like the lore of Giles like expands in such interesting ways, like he's first introduced as like a
Wait, what's
almost
his
like a
badass name? What's his badass name?
ripper.
Ripper. Yeah.
Well, it's the fact that like even not just like his backstory, but just like the although that's a big part of it, but also the fact that like he's first introduced as like straight laced, he's always wearing like a fucking suit to a high school job. And he's
Remember when Spike scared Giles and he's like, "Oh, did you just see your whole life flash before your eyes? Oh, have a tea, maybe. Oh, have a tea, have a tea." Like stuff like that.
like it's the fact that he's like introduced as like straight lace, but then like as the show goes on, he goes kind of rogue.
Well, what's
He
great
starts resisting authority himself.
exactly, starts resisting the Watchers because, like, Buffy, like, it's
It's
cool that they're kind of diagonal because they are both father figures. Because Buffy's father
yeah.
is absent for the entirety of the show, and he was a puppet of the patriarchy for a while until like Wesley came around, and that's why season 3 is so important because we see how everything affects everything, and Giles becomes really cool. I even think there's moments where Giles is trying to help Faith because he knows that her Watcher is like a perverted
Terrible.
like scumbag.
I just had like a revelation about Giles that like part of what I like so much about him is that his arc as a person is basically like he was the Buffy. He was Buffy when he was a kid or a teenager. He was just like her. He was like this angry, upset kid, but he didn't have that person in his life to help
Yeah,
him. But then
no,
he kind of went through that usual kind of like arc of like guy who when he's really young is like a punk kid or like anarchist shit. And then by the time they hit their 30s, they just kind of like become establishment. But then, like,
exactly,
through his relationship to them, he's able to like tap back into that
which is
part of
amazing.
himself that hates these oppressive authorities. And it's like he's able to get back in touch with his younger self, but in like a more mature, focused way. And so he's able to become a more full person by the end. And I love Giles. He's so
Yeah,
good.
he's amazing. Let's move on to Oz though. I love Oz. Okay, now we're getting to like me saying I love so many of them. I love Oz. Oz is amazing. Monosyllabic, always funny, played a
Yeah,
mean guitar.
I'm gonna put a second from the top is what I would say personally.
And really like them.
Yeah, I really like Oz. Oz is great. I mean, Seth Green is Seth Green.
I'm
He's
gonna put him above Anya on there.
I'll accept that. I'll accept
I
that.
think he's amazing. If I was doing this just by myself, he'd be in love.
It's
Love Oz so much.
he's also another instance of like that kind of fun duality in one person of like the person who's
Yeah.
kind of quietly funny and keeps to himself is like containing this monster and
Well, once again, it kind of speaks to those radical feminist qualities. Like every guy has that like
dark side.
uncontrollable primal thing within them. Like we see it really well with Angelus here, and like even Oz has it. Like Oz can't be trusted. Even
Yeah,
Oz has to be put into a cage once a
no
month.
one, not even him. I mean, yeah, it's literally every guy in the show who enters in a relationship with one of the characters.
Exactly. I mean, in retrospect, Xander's not that toxic, guys. They
Yeah, he's
all
really
are.
not.
They
I can't.
all are. I just think that Xander, like, he pissed me off with Anya so much. That's like,
Oh yeah, I mean
he's
that would grow
supposed
up.
to. He's supposed to do that, but like, oh my God, she
He's a kid that
deserves the
can't grow
world.
up. He's a
Yeah.
chronically incapable. Who is this? I can't see.
Do you agree with splitting Dark Willow and Willow up like this?
Is that Dark Willow? I can't
That's
really see.
that's Dark Willow.
I
I
don't
don't.
know. I don't see that as like huge a split as like Angel and Jealous. It's like this is more just like a ego unleashed version of Willow. And
So I put Dark Willow on no opinion, blah blah blah. But I also put like Spike with a soul or like Vampire Buffy. The real thing is I love Willow Rosenberg
who doesn't?
like so deeply. I
Mhm.
think she's great. I think Dark Willow's a fascinating villain. Season 6 is one of the most interesting and nihilistic seasons of television I've ever seen. But Willow in
Yeah,
general, my God, what I immediately put her at love, and I'd actually put her above Spike, right behind Buffy right now, personally.
it's. I think season 6 is important for her because that was about the point where I kind of got bored with her character because it felt like they not in the sense that I was like anything about it was bad. It was more just I was like I feel like it's run its course. You
Mhm.
know, like the character has completely run its course, and it's like, what else can you do with her?
Well, Dark Willow is amazing. Come on, that's
Yeah,
one of the
really good.
coolest bets on the whole show. But she has like, fucking Warren basically like crucified against a tree, and she goes
Yeah,
bored now, and then skins him alive immediately. Like, oh,
it's also
whoa,
like a return to the season 2 twist in a
oh
way, which
yeah, bored now.
because it's like once again they took one of the heroes that you trust in and you know
Oh, it's so good. It's so
bastardize them and corrupt them. You know, no one's
Willow.
safe, not even like the purest character in this show, basically, Willow. Like even she can go off the rails and uh
Like,
it really is a show about how like no one is really good, pure. You know, everyone has like evil.
sorry, I know what you're like. No one's really pure. Go on.
Yeah, it's like no one's really pure. They all have like this darkness within them, this like you know, psycho, this killer, something. Everyone has kind of like a darkness
And
within them.
I mean, and if season 6 to me explores nihilism, and especially the ways that young people, are radicalized into nihilistic behavior. Dark Willow being the ultimate example of it. Wow, that's
Yeah.
so cool. But I wanted to say, like, it's really nerdy, but I used to play the Buffy. Hold on. I used to play the Buffy board game with friends,
Nice.
and there's like role playing aspects to the Buffy board game. I even got the extension so that you could play as Faith and stuff. But it's really fun. I would always play as Willow, though. I always loved being Willow Rosenberg. She was the funnest character to kind of role play with it. The coolest thing about the Buffy game is that there's like a big bad you have to beat, but it's comprised of like 4 or 5. Yeah, but it's comprised of like several monsters of the week. But there's like a game, like a hush game, where you're not allowed to talk for the entire round, or there's a once more with feeling part of the game where you have to sing everything you say to each other. I
That's actually
just
really fun. I would play that.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to share that. And yeah, I got the expansion so you can play as like Drusilla and Faith and Oz, but then no one wanted to play it with me, so I never got to play as Faith. I would have loved to.
Off topic from the video, you should bring that to my wedding.
I will. I'll bring both. The expansion isn't even open yet. You could play as Riley. uh,
I will play that at the wedding.
it's so much fun. It really is. Yeah, it's such a fun game. But I had to say, like, she's the funnest to role play. Like when we play it at your wedding, I'm gonna play Willow again. She's the best.
It's okay. I'll be Xander. But
Of course you will. Okay, so Tara's one of my favorite. These are two of my favorite characters, but Tara's
I mean,
amazing.
really, the next two, yeah, both S tier, whatever
Okay,
the top
so
tier is.
I don't have to veto anything. I love Tara.
Oh, I adore Tara.
Out of out of
I think there
respect,
was some covert awakening stuff going on watching her, and you know, as a 19-year-old.
ooh, yeah. Well, out of respect to Buffy, I'll put Faith at number 2, but if this was me being truthful, she'd be number 1
Yeah.
to me. I think
Well,
she's fascinating.
yeah, like Tara's great though.
And
Tara's fucking
also
lovely.
some not overt awakening for me when I was watching Faith as well.
No, Faith rocks. Faith. It's funny because if every character has that kind of like dark other for themselves, like Faith is that for Buffy, as just as a distinct character. she is like what Buffy might have been, because like everything about Faith's personality is a quality we know is part of Buffy's personality too. You know, Buffy also has like that rebellion streak and that kind of
Exactly.
resistance to authority streak and that desire to break out of expectations of her and like societal norms. And so everything about Faith screams like Buffy could have just as easily gone down this arc and path.
And like this topic has been driven into the ground. I mean, rightfully so. I'm not Team Angel or Team Spike. I love these two together
Faith,
as romantic, and they were supposed to be like that.
Buffy,
Was yeah, it's what they were supposed to be though. They were supposed to be a couple. It's just that the WB at the time were really puritanical and wouldn't allow that relationship to unfold. Like that amazing scene
mm-hmm.
where they had their little fight and Faith kisses her on the forehead and runs away. She was supposed to kiss her on the mouth and run away,
Yeah.
but and they filmed both, and I would love to see the one where she kisses Sarah Michelle Gellar on the mouth, but like that's not available to interact with. This
And
was
it's such,
supposed to be a couple, and there's so much there with Faith drawing a little heart on the window, getting her to come out and be a bad girl is one of my favorite episodes when they're just
it's so
fucking
good.
cool. Yeah,
I also
it's
just think like Buffy as a bisexual is like
I think it's
such
truthful.
great material.
Yeah,
But
and I think that's why in my head canon and in Joss's and in most Buffy fans, like they were romantic. Like that was supposed to be, because
yeah,
in season 3 she doesn't have anyone except for Angel sometimes in season 3. That was supposed to be her romantic interest, and I
love
think it's
interest.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also today, like if you're talking about revelations, I'm not a lesbian woman, but I
Yeah.
do know that like so many of them credit season 3 with these two, especially with Faith
Hmm.
being an awakening, not just a bi awakening, but an oh shit I'm gay awakening, which is
Yeah.
awesome for Eliza did that a lot. Bring It On was another one that I see lesbians
Yeah.
cite a lot. I'm not talking about
The
any.
thing is both Buffy and Faith have lesbian energy.
I'm moving all the ones that are like, because that was
Please
like the
do.
vampire versions of these characters.
Please do. I don't
Wesley,
care. Wesley, if we're
Wesley,
talking just Buffy,
then he's my most disliked, honestly.
really, I would have put him in no opinion, but I'll take that. I'll accept that. You don't have to move him.
Well, he's one of the reasons why Faith was radicalized to the point that she was. And I mean,
Now, if we're
he was more interested in trying to fuck Cordelia, which is, where's she? She's not even here, dude.
fuck, she would have been top.
Yeah, I
Oh yeah,
love
we put
Cordelia,
goddamn Egypt girl in this, but
but we didn't have Cordelia.
the mummy girl is in this, but not fucking Cordelia is insane.
I didn't
But
make this list, guys. I'm so mad about no Cordelia.
no, I mean if we're talking Angel, Wesley gets pretty cool. But again, yeah, he's like
Oh yeah,
what, like a
he's
30-year-old dude hitting on a 16-year-old, and he is a cop. You know, it's like the worst qualities.
and loses control of Faith. Doesn't even try to understand Faith. He weaponized her just as much as the mayor did, but in opposite by my neglect, right? Like it's
Yeah.
awful.
I do
I
like the
hate.
idea that Faith gets stuck with Jank Giles, though.
Yeah. Well, I'm supposed to dislike him, by the way. It's not like a flaw of the show. Whereas I'm, I'm supposed to have liked Buffy's mom, supposed to have liked Kennedy and Riley, probably. But Wesley was designed to be unlikable and got his redemption in Angel, and also fucking Faith tortures him in her first appearance on Angel, and it's really
Which is
satisfying.
so, yeah, like that rocks so
like
bad.
erotically tortures him too, like straddles him and like oh my god, like Joss delivers punishment to Wesley on Angel. But if we're just talking about Buffy, he's so remarkably unlikable.
And so uninteresting while we're at it.
And
Just,
this guy I just don't care about. Don't care.
yeah, he got
Don't care.
swapped out for someone else.
Now I
And
get to
then
use my veto, though. I get to use my
go for it.
veto. I love Glory. I'll put her at the end too, though. I
Go
love
for it.
her as a villain. I think she's great. And also, since Cordelia's not here and she's extremely Cordelia coded, I feel all the more justified
Yeah.
for putting her at love, though.
For the sake of clarity, you would have also put Cordelia at the top, right?
Oh yeah, Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay,
would
good.
have put her at the top. She's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, she's so good.
Charisma
And dude,
Carpenter just nails it. She's so fucking amazing.
so good. And it's like, is she similar to the mayor in that it's like someone who's an impediment to the story, but like you don't care because it's honestly like when she's on screen, it's better than whatever the main plot is of the episode. Like I could
I
watch her
mean,
all day.
she's bar none like funnier than Xander. She's like the
It's
funniest
so
character in those early
funny.
episodes.
She's so
Um,
fucking funny.
and
And
charisma
so
is
true.
amazing. She's so fucking cool.
She's
I
one of those
love Cordelia.
characters that everyone in their teens is probably like, man, this is such like a misogynistic depiction of a woman. And then they hit their 20s and they're like, dude, she's so me. She's so real. She's so true. I'm just like her.
And just for fun, let me see if I could find this really quick. This is my justification for why Glory is one of my. Actually, I think according to this, well, I guess Angelus is a big bad, but I think she's my favorite big bad on Buffy. Who's not crazy? Look around. Everyone's drinking, smoking, shooting up, shooting each other, or just plain screwing their brains out because they don't want them anymore. I'm crazy? Honey, I'm the original one-eyed chicklet in the kingdom of the blind because at least I admit the world makes me nuts. And she talks to Dawn. That's to Dawn, right? And she has all these amazing moments with this plot device, and she treats her like she is a plot device. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, let me go back to the tier, and we'll just take a big old look at it and say, gaze upon my works, ye mighty, and despair.
I agree with Buffy on top.
Yeah, I think this is fine. Um, I'm sure there were characters like just like Cordelia that just weren't here that aren't coming to my mind right
That
now.
we're gonna feel like idiots for not even remembering.
I mean, I think you're crazy for not having Cordelia or
Yeah,
Warren
that's
on
fucking
this list.
psychotic. That's
Um,
outrageous. I feel like we're forgetting an obvious one who's not on, but I could be
well,
wrong.
I mean, the ancient one wasn't here, or like the
The
first
annoying,
evil
the
wasn't here.
annoying one.
No, not the annoying one, but he wasn't here. He might as well have been here. No, the big bad of season 7 was the first evil.
Oh
Uh,
right. I've deleted so much of that
yeah.
season from my brain.
You know what? I would have rather had Jesse here from the pilot, like the first casualty of the group.
That is a character I would have put on here because
Like,
it's weird because it's the one time in the entire show where we actually feel bad that a person died.
and
It's
it was like Xander's only friend, right?
yeah, and then Xander just moves on forever, but it's like early on, that's like devastating.
But I think this is a good tier, and I'm gonna do this with all the other shows that I've talked about. So yeah, for this first one, I had
I got the
Isabelle
Buffy.
on. Of
I
course, you
got
got the
Buffy.
Buffy. You're you're number one on my Buffy list.
It's true. I love that show. I kind of want to watch season 5 now, to be honest.
Season 5's amazing.
I
Season
feel
5
like
is
I keep trying to rewatch the show, but I keep starting like season 1 or 2, and it's like, but I'm like so like oversaturated on season 2 and season 3 that it's just like I
yeah.
kind of just want to jump into season 5 and watch that and 6
Skip into 5. 5 is just amazing. Oh my
because
god.
like seasons 1 through 3, I know like the back of my hand well, more or less. I know really well, and I think about them so much. Whereas like 5 and 6, I'm like, man, it's been so long since I watched them.
I think you'll be consistently entertained by just how hypersensitive Glory, this fucking literal goddess villain is. Like
Yeah.
she's so amazing. I love her so much. But yeah, thank you for doing this video with me.
Or any yeah, fuck. What? I don't know. I feel like I stumbled on your words there at the end.
No,
Hey, if
no.
you're
Yeah, she kind of reminds me of like a snowflake liberal.